Hey everybody, back with another video for arrays. And just to review the last time. So the last time we created arrays, this one of 5 elements. And here we showed one way of loading up a specific element. We also said that the array starts at 0 and ends. This one will be 5 elements, so it'll end at 4. And after that too, we use the for loop to load the array. Or populate, I'll use that term, populate the array. And we have another for loop that's going to print the objects or the elements of the array. So today's video is not going to introduce anything new per se, but what we're going to do is we're going to use methods now, in particular method parameters, to really highlight these different parts. Okay, so first thing we'll do is create a new class. And this one I'll call arrays. Let's call it arrays methods. All right, and just to keep things simple, I'm going to copy some of the code from our last one. Okay, so that created our array of 5 elements. Then after that, we're going to have one method to populate the array. And another method, and this one is going to print the elements of the array. Okay, so here's where we get started. So first thing is we need the method signature. And this one we're not going to have a return type. It'll be a void. So this is going to be public static void. So public static void, and I'll call it populates. For now, empty parameters. There we go. Okay, now the next thing we're going to need to do is to actually put some code into here. But before that, let's pass through this array. So this array here at line 7, we're going to take it and we're going to connect it into these brackets here. All right, and the way that we do that is just by putting the name into list. And that now takes, or at least we know that these parameters will connect to an array. Okay, from there, we can start creating our for loop. So this for loop is going to be similar to the one we did last time, so I'll go a little bit faster. So we do int I equals 0. Run this as long as I is less than list dot length. And for this one, increase by 1. Okay, and then to actually load up the array, what we're going to do is say lists I. And once again, we want this to start at 1, so it's going to be I plus 1. And just for confirmation, I'll put a message in here that says the array has been loaded. Okay, so if we run it at first, nothing happens. That's because in our main method, all that we've done is created an array. But to call this method, so in order to call this method, we're going to put the name of the method. And if you notice right now, there's an error, and that's because nothing is in the parameters where we've created the populate method to need something there. And in particular, what we need is the name of an array, which is lists. Okay, now if we go ahead and run it, we get that confirmation. The array has been loaded. Okay, so now we need a method that's going to print the array. And what we're going to do, so what I'll do is I'll actually copy and paste our previous method. And we're going to change the name to printer, same parameters, same for loop. All that's different in this one is that we're going to output it. So we have our output statement and we want to output the elements in the array, and we do that by saying list square brackets I. And we'll have our confirmation message here. The array has been printed. Okay, so once again, we run it and nothing happens. Reason being is that we haven't called the print method yet. So same thing, we need to call the print method. It's going to be print list semicolon, and oh, sorry, it's called printer. There we go. And now that we look at it, now it's printed all 5 elements. Okay, so once again, although this seems like we're doing more work on the front end by breaking, right? Usually this would be easier for us just to create everything in the main method. But where we're going with this is that we have more complex programs. And now that we have more complex programs, each method can focus on a specific task. And then if I was to, so hit enter, so each method focuses on a specific task. And when you look at the main method here, it's a very simple main method, right? All we have is 3 lines of code. So in the long run, this will actually make things a lot easier to manage. And if there's an error in a particular part, then we can go specifically to that method and fix that error rather than sifting through all the lines of code and not sure where the errors are. Okay, so as usual, let me know if you guys need any help in class, and I'll see you again in the next video.